Hi there. All right, so I am here with Agnes. Hi, Agnes.
Hello, Kimmy.
And we're really excited to deliver this to you today. And we want to just talk about something that really isn't talked, I don't think, ever, or really a lot on YouTube at all. And it is, should you manifest someone who is married or in some kind of serious commitment with someone else? So what do you think about that? What are your thoughts on that?
Good question. Well, I don't think it's a clear cut, definite, yes, you should, no, you shouldn't, because, well, firstly, I'll just talk about the basics first. If someone is married, if someone is in a relationship and you are on the outside of that and you are attracted to one of those people, the man or the woman, I would say no, the person isn't available at that time. I don't think it's okay to interfere in someone's marriage or someone's relationship. And I would ask that you ask yourself the question, why am I attracted to someone who's not available? I must have the belief I attract unavailable men or unavailable women. So you've got to look at that within yourself. Now, there are exceptions, such as some people are in a marriage, especially marriage, I won't say a relationship, but in a marriage that's been arranged. Now, when you are in an arranged situation and you've ended up marrying someone that you don't want to be married to, and you got married young and you were pushed into it by your culture, your family, or whatever situation was going on in the background, and you ended up somewhere you didn't want to be, in that situation, I think that sometimes people are living together as a married couple, but they're not living as a sexual romantic married couple. They're living together through the arranged situation of their parents or the religion or whatever. So in those situations, if you are attracted to someone who's been in an arranged marriage and you know that that arranged marriage is dead, but they haven't officially separated or divorced, and they've been living like that for a very long time, I would say don't get into a 3D trying to insert yourself into that marriage. But if you are, say, knowing that there's going to be a divorce or a separation, I think then it would be, I would say, okay, to start living in the end of being with somebody, but I would only do the internal work. I would not do anything on the outside until that relationship is fully dissolved and finished. So that would be my opinion, Kim. What do you think?
I am right there with you. And you know what? It's about 10, 12 years ago, I was involved with someone who was in a committed relationship, and I did not know that he was until like 6 months into us being together. And because I did not have a lot of self-love for myself at that time, when I found out, instead of just ending it like I should have because it would not work out well for me, I stayed because my excuse was the emotions that I had developed over the 6 months for him. And it was a nightmare. It did not work out. It was not a pleasant experience. And it's something that I learned a huge lesson from for myself personally, because I believe when you're involved with someone who is with someone else, whether you know it or not, but let's just assume that you know it, you're privy to the information. I believe that you are settling and you're accepting crumbs, because if somebody has committed to someone else and they're giving all their energy, or their energy goes to them first, and then you're kind of getting crumbs and, you know, little dinners here and there and sneakaways here and there, but you're not getting the full on experience of what a relationship turns into when it's just the two of you mutually wanting that commitment, then you're really selling yourself short. And I think it stems from lack of self-worth, you know, in my opinion. That was my experience. And I never, ever, once I went through that, I was young and just, like I said, I didn't love myself. I said, this will never be something I accept ever again. And I will never, and I've never have accepted that for myself. And I've met men since then that, you know, out on a date or out with friends, that they hit on you and, you know, they tell me they're married, I just walk away immediately, because it is not anything that I'm interested in, because why am I going to sell myself short?
Yeah. It's really tricky when someone doesn't tell you, though. Like you say, you got caught, you didn't know until 6 months later. That is such a high level of deception, and you get someone
Yes.
hooked in mentally, emotionally, and then, yeah, I mean, women especially get really attached. So that you couldn't see that coming.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I probably could have, but because, you know, he was not showing up consistent and fully committed as someone when you're dating for 6 months should be, like, more regular. But because of where I was at in my life and how I wasn't loving myself and valuing myself, I accepted crumbs from him even then, even though I didn't know or even have an inkling. I still accepted behaviors from him that were not for my highest good.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, the fact that I even allowed myself to stay in that situation was not for my highest good. So, like, a woman who loves herself and values herself, that situation wouldn't even unfolded, because 6 months into it, with the crumbs he had been offering me, you know, and again, I didn't know that he was with someone, but the crumbs that I was getting, I wouldn't have, the woman I am today and have been for a long time, she would not even entertain that. It just would not even be on her. I wouldn't even attract that in my life, honestly, you know, because that's the vibe I was at. But I think it's also an excuse that people give themselves, that, oh, well, I found out and then I was in love with him. Or people, you know, people use that excuse all the time when they're settling for crumbs or they're staying in a relationship that doesn't feel good, that I love them. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
but you got to love yourself more to
Yes.
understand that loving them is hurting you, and that you're not going to attract something different from them or that's fulfilling for you if you keep in that energy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I had someone say to me not long ago, when I found out that the person I was attracted to was actually having another relationship, she said to me, I never want to be doing that to another woman. And
Mm.
she gracefully and dignifiedly backed out.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And to
Rather
do it
than,
for
oh,
herself.
I got
Yeah.
to get rid of the third party. It's like,
Oh,
no, she realized that she did not want to be in a triangle. And she had such respect for the other person, not just trying to grab what she wanted. I thought, wow, what a beautiful moment. I said, that is magnificent that you would say that.
yes. But that shows you, like, her worth and value, because first of all, she wouldn't want that for her or for the other woman to have to go through that, which the woman will go through it because he'll just find someone else, because that's usually what happens. But like, that she didn't want to be the person to be part of that chaos and that creation of
Yeah.
pain. So I think that speaks volume of
Yeah.
her emotional healthiness and self-love, because I mean, if I loved myself like that, I would have said the same thing immediately when I found out, you know. But we learn these lessons in life, right? That's how we grow and evolve. But it really is, because it's really about us, and it's taking ownership. Like, I have so many women that are like, yeah, but I don't want anything serious and this is fun. And I'm like, but then why can't you find someone who's not married or in a serious relationship and go have fun? And I think it's a lie that they tell themselves, to make them feel okay for settling.
Yeah. Yeah. And somewhere deep down, when you know you're settling, you don't feel good about yourself. It's
Yeah.
not, it's one of those 3 a.m. moments where you wake up and that comes into your head and you just know this isn't good for me. I'm actually being used, or I'm accepting sex when I want love.
Yeah.
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 Not good. Yeah. No, I think, well, and you and I talk a lot about self-love, and I think the more you work on that, the more you work on the self, the less those situations are even remotely attractive.
And they don't come into your reality. Like, I think since that period, and again, this is like 10, 12 years ago, I've had like one married guy approach me where I said no, but that's it. And there's been a couple of people I've met like online or something where as you're, you know, chatting with them and you get to know more, like, oh, I'm newly divorced or I'm separated. I say, nope, not dealing with it, because it's usually messy. And I just don't want to be a part of that. Like, if, you know, we'll be in vibe if we're meant to come back into alignment, because, you know, so I just don't create that in my reality because it's not part of me. I don't have that neediness and attracting emotionally unavailable people like that, you know?
And also, if someone's already looking to get into another relationship when they've only had a very short period of getting out of a relationship, that tells you a lot about them. They don't like being alone. They do call those rebounds. And it is about them trying to get something from you when they haven't cleaned up their mess from before. And you've got to ask yourself, is that really someone I want to be in a relationship with? Was it you that said to me, I wouldn't date anybody within a year of them breaking up with someone?
Yeah.
Was it you that said that? Yeah. I love that. I think a year is, you know, not a month, not 2 months, not 6 months, a year. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Because you know what, and this is the stuff you learn when you value yourself, and being single and meeting different kinds of people at different energy levels because of what was going on with me. You learn these painful lessons that most people, when they're coming out of a long-term relationship, and like you said, they jump back in, their past is not resolved. They haven't even energetically gotten alignment. It's usually out of pain. Even if they wanted the partnership to dissolve, there's still some grief and things that are going on of the failure of that connection. And so when you walk into that, I'm not saying 100% of the time, but most of the time, when you're part of that process, it usually doesn't work out for a lot of people, because those people are just bringing in the baggage. They haven't done their self-love. They haven't been alone. Like, I agree with you. It's more about, let me be with this person, so I'm like healing my pain, and it's less, and it's not for the intention of two emotionally healthy, attractive people just connecting and vibing and wanting to see what happens. You know, it's for ulterior selfish motives. It doesn't work. So when I would meet people online and they say that, I would not even entertain it. Like, they had to be not together with their person, divorced for at least a year before I would even go on a date, or even
moved out, not living in separate rooms under the one roof, which I hear a lot of. And then people are living with the ex, and then they're on dating apps to meet someone else, and then they're coming home when they, like, I just go, no. It's not clean. It's messy. It's emotionally a disaster. I think finish your business and prepare yourself to be in a meaningful relationship, and do the other person, give them respect, the next person.
Yes. And I think too, it's like, you know, you got to ask yourself these hard questions, like, why am I thinking that's okay for me? Like, if I desire love and a commitment and a relationship, and I'm out there dating people to see, am I going to connect with someone who's on that same vibe? And that's what you're drawing in. Why is that even an option for you? Why is that okay for you to say, I'm still going to share them? I really can't go to their house. I can't sleep over, even if there's nothing going on with the ex, right? It's still, this woman is in the space of the man you're involved with, or woman you're involved with, whoever, where how do you fit into this? And so you really got to ask yourself these questions, because I agree with you. Like, it's not healthy, and you're still settling because you're only getting parts of this person, and you're not able to experience the full on experience of being with someone who is emotionally available and not attached to anyone else. Even if it's nothing romantic with their ex, they're still living together. It's a mess. Exactly. Where are you going to go over there and have dinner with the ex and them? I mean, probably not, you know, so why do you want that for yourself? And this is where that self-love and really holding that mirror up to yourself is, what's going on with me that I'm thinking this is okay and good enough for me? And what is it that I want? And start focusing on that. And then you'll attract different versions where even that person may say, I've had enough of this living situation. She's got to go now. She's got to move out. I want to move on. Like, you'll get a different version of them, or you'll bring in someone who's in alignment to the end result that you want. But it's your shit. It's it's what's going on in you that is why this is coming in your reality, and why you're accepting it. Because sometimes shit comes in, but we don't have to accept it. We don't have to agree to it.
Exactly. And yeah, it's learning to say, you know what, this is a pothole I'm going to avoid.
Yeah.
Not, oh, I saw the signs, but I kept going.
Right, right. That was me 10, 12 years ago in that connection. Like, and now I'm like, oh, never, ever.
Yeah.
I love myself too much. Like, I don't got time for that. I want peace.
Yeah. And you got to protect it. You got to protect the peace and the calm and the drama-free life you've created. And if you are in a drama, you got to work your way to getting away from it and then creating the peace. So yeah, once you get peace, you really do not want to step back into drama because you've enjoyed the fruits of your labor that
Yeah.
took you a while to get there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I think too, it's not that it's wrong or right, right? Like we're not the moral police here to say like you're wrong if you do that. It's understanding why is that enough for you?
yeah,
If you want to be in a relationship with someone where it's flourishing and you're nourishing each other's soul as you're nourishing your own soul and he's nourishing his or she is, then why is this okay for you? And again,
yeah,
it comes to my standards are low because I don't value myself enough. And I either believe this is all I can get, so I'm willing to accept it, or maybe I'm really scared that if I meet someone who really could give me everything, I don't know what to do with that. I'm scared of that. So they stay stuck in like these kind of relationships where there is no real commitment.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Exactly. Look, this has been a bit of an atomic bomb. I get asked this question often in the Q&As, and I don't think I've answered it as clearly as I have just having this conversation with you, because I think with the two of us, you really look at it from different angles. So it's been one of those questions that I have thought, oh, I don't know if I want to go there. And I've pulled away from really giving a full answer to it.
Yeah.
So it's good that we've brought it to the surface, because I know also some people are not going to like what we've said, and
Right.
that's all right. That's all right. This is
It's
my
just our
opinion.
opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's your opinion and in my opinion, and that's what we think. And like you said, we're not the moral police. People, it can do whatever they want, but this is just and you and I have got years of experience having done stuff wrong, and we've the suffering
Yes.
taught us what not to do.
Yes. Duly noted. Like, don't date someone who's got a girlfriend. Learn that. I'm like, gotcha, universe. I fucking get it.
That's right. Exactly.
I think even too, like, all right, let's say the person who's like, nope, this is the person I want. Okay. So then I would suggest this, right? I would suggest not being like what you were saying in the beginning. I would not be involved with this person while they are still with their other person. And then I would do what I need to do, like self-love, and I would live in the end, and I would go live my best life, knowing and trusting and believing that somehow, some way, their relationship with that person will dissolve. And when it does, and they're emotionally healthy and ready to fully commit and have that beautiful experience with me, they will be reattracted back in my life. And I think that's really healthy because, we do that all the time with SPs. If they're dating someone else or they're single and we know they're dating others, we're still living the end and doing what we want, but we're not sitting here putting our life on hold, waiting and then settling for crumbs from them too. You know what I mean? So I think you can do that, but you want to always put yourself first and love yourself enough to say, all right, I like this person, but I deserve more than what they can offer right now. So I know if everyone is you pushed out, that it's just about me dissolving whatever is going on in me, that I'm attracting that experience from them. And then go do your thing, live your life, and then they'll come back in whenever it's in alignment and it's healthy and it's in the end of what you're going to receive from them.
Yeah.
Or you'll meet somebody else who's even more amazing. I'm
Yeah.
always a proponent of that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I am too. I think specific person or not, it really in the end, if you are in the great self-loving, self-worth, self-respecting place, no matter what you get, it will be fantastic.
Yes, yes. And it's funny. I was listening to Joe Vitale a lot recently with the Ho'oponopono prayer and his take on things. And he has a really interesting concept because he was talking about how the intentions are still limited when we set intentions for what we desire, because we're basing it off what we think is our best, highest good. And he was saying kind of like, there's nothing wrong with that and it works. And we've all proven it. We've all manifested things that we want and it feels good. But he was like, for him, where he's at now in his own journey, that he understands what he wants to experience, but then he lets it go through the Ho'oponopono. I know I'm saying that wrong. I always say it wrong. I'm like, I'm going to get it right one day. And he says it's really just connecting to love of divine within him. So he keeps dissolving whatever's going on with him. And then because everyone is you pushed out, he just attracts in amazing experiences in his life that come from inspiration, which come from divine, and it wasn't coming from his limited mind. So it always like superseded and surpassed even what he imagined for himself. Cool. Which is interesting. It's a different take on things, you know?
Yeah. I think it's like, I remember there was an affirmation from, what was her name? Florence Scovel Shinn. She'd say, I'm open to the known and unknown channels. And I think the unknown channels are where the most magnificent things happen. The known channels are very limited because you've only got a small view of everything. So yeah, I used to love that affirmation. And I had some amazing things happen from saying that affirmation.
I love that affirmation. I'm going to start saying
it.
it.
I'm open
because,
to known.
You know what? Because it's true. And it's like, and the universe is working with us. And so it's going to come in at different avenues. Like, and so we just get to decide if we want it or not. I mean, that to me, it's a smorgasbord. It's a buffet where I get to pick all this handed to me on a silver platter. I get to decide which path I prefer, which I think is good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Lovely, Kim.
So fun.
Yeah, nice. Good conversation. And I think one that will definitely be just in some people's lives, those situations right now, people will be living this. So hopefully that gives them just a bit of food for thought.
Yes. And it's a thing to look at too, that when you stay stuck in those things where there's so much resistance building, and so you're trying to hang on to this connection with this person because you want this to happen so badly, it can't breathe. It can't transition. The energy can't change into the energy where you have a whole new experience and version of them and relationship with them when you're constantly in the old energy.
Yeah, for sure. And the fear of, am I going to get what I want? Am I going to get what I want? Am I going to get from what I want? It's always playing on your mind once you get attached.
Yes. And then you're forcing it
to
happen, which we all know that's the desperate, needy, clingy, which you don't manifest what you want ever in that energy. And it's like, you're not helping yourself in this process. You're actually intentionally manifesting what you don't want through that belief and action, and not just not just stepping back and saying, hold on, I got to get myself grounded. Because it's never them. It's always us. It's never anything outside of us. It's always us just going within and getting this on point over and over and over again. And then you start having it, reflected back to you.
And that's why the Ho'oponopono is so good, because you're dissolving the part of you that created that. That's the basis of the Ho'oponopono. It's looking at what's outside and going, okay, if that's in front of me, what have I got going on that I need to let go of? If that's not to my liking, what do I need to dissolve? What belief do I need to let go of? What do I need to change? What am I doing? What's driving me? And once you do all that and you work, the Ho'oponopono is wonderful with repeating the 4 statements and really going deeper, and it will often release some negative emotion, and you will be processing emotions, letting them out. It will be grief, guilt, anger, fear, anxiety, whatever it is, but it's releasing that so that you can come back to neutral, and then you're no longer fish hooked by those situations.
I love that. And I was thinking, when you're involved in those kinds of things too, it's like subconsciously, even if you're consciously trying to recreate the new story for yourself, subconsciously, because you're still involved in it, it's like that emotion and those feelings and beliefs. And there's going to be things that you're like a dog with a bone that you can't let go. And I was thinking with my person before we got back together, and when I broke up with him, one of the million times I did, there was this nagging, stupid, it was so stupid, but I was so irritated that how come he's not asking me to go to the gym? Because we both work out a lot. And it was like this, I couldn't let go of the stupid thoughts. So I would try to focus on everything else and what I wanted, blah, blah, blah. But this thing was like in my subconscious nagging me, and it always kicked up something negative. So during the 6 months we weren't back together, like, and I just redid my story and, you know, focused on my self-love and all the stuff we talk about. Right when he came back in, he asked me to go to the gym with him 3 times in a row.
Isn't that amazing?
And I just started laughing because I was like, oh my gosh, like this was so in my deep subconscious the whole time I was with him. And I didn't even really realize it because I thought, no, it's this story I got to change in that story, but this had bothered me. So we set ourselves up too when we're not really able to dissolve that and work on it, because it will come in so fast and quick once you keep doing that self-love and healing your emotional pain and all that shit subconsciously, because it gets stored and activated in our cells.
Yeah, certainly does. And it's, I'm not important.
I don't matter.
Included. I don't belong, whatever it is. It's like, it's that stuff is so deep in so many of us, but how wonderful to actually go in and that thing's just evaporated. That's brilliant.
Oh my God, like that. Like, and I was laughing because when we got back together, like literally 3 days, he's texting me in the morning. I was already at my gym though, because I go earlier, and he was like, oh, where are you at? What are you training today? I would love to work out. You know, can we go to the gym? I'm like, I'm almost finished. Like, you can come, but by the time you get here, I'm going to be done, you know? And he did that like 3 days in a row. And I just started laughing because I was like, oh my God, this was such an issue for me last time I was with him. And because that work that I did obviously wasn't an issue anymore, because it just came in like that, like out of nowhere.
Wonderful.
Oh my God, it's so funny. And the same thing will happen with whoever in here is settling for less with themselves. If it's with somebody who's committed elsewhere, like once you step back and work on you and really heal what's going on inside of you and release this tight hold, I gotta have this, when are they gonna do this? It will come. It always does. It always does.
Yep. You're my bookend, Kim.
I know, we're soul sisters.
We are.
We are.
We are. Lovely. Thank you for having this discussion. It's brilliant. I love when we work out the mechanics of things and just bounce things, because it's always so interesting. You know, as we work with people, we're still working on ourselves. And as we work on ourselves, we learn more. And with what we learn, then we can hopefully help to give other people a bit of relief. So,
well, and you know what? I've been really just diving so deep. And a lot of it is like, I think because everyone is pushed out. So like, as you get healthier, I'm getting healthier, our clients are getting healthier. Like, it's a beautiful thing to see. And like the concepts, because it's like layers almost, you know, it's like you learn everyone is pushed out here first, like you get an understanding of it, but you're not living it. You're not being it. You have to implement it. And it just takes more practice and repetitiveness and always relearning it. Like I watch your playlist. I was talking to my Facebook group about your playlist of everyone as you push out. I said, if the wheel ain't broke, don't fix it. Go watch her playlist, because she explains it very well. But like, I had to go watch that multiple times because each time I hear something different and I understand it in a different way than I did the first time, you know, and that's how you get the deeper knowing and the deeper sense of it, until one day it just clicks and it's you're being it. You're really understanding it, and then you're seeing the fruits of it. And it just, once you get it, it's fucking game changer. Like, I just laugh now with everything. I'm like, all right, I just got to go in. I'm dissolving. I'm like, I love you. I love you. I love you. And, you know, I'm doing all these things and focusing on what I want constantly. I'm never like, oh my God, they're doing this, and I'm thinking something negative. I just go within, always, with money, business, because I get it. Everything is energy, and it's about me. It's not about outside of me.
Yeah, that's such an empowering moment when you realize that's all you got to do. Is you don't have to fix or change or do anything out there, it's if you just go, okay, hang on a minute. What am I feeling? Oh, that's an old thing. Okay. I've just been hitting the raw pink nerve again. That's an old thing from childhood. That's an old thing from my dad. That's an old thing from my really nasty teacher, whatever. And it gives you an opportunity to clear a bit more stuff. And that's the benefit of being hit in the weak links, is you get an opportunity to offload it.
Yes. And it's so like exciting, like to understand that how powerful we are, that like all we have to do is just work on ourselves. Like there's things that are so much harder than that. You know what I mean? And so it's like, oh, I don't like this. Okay, what do I want to set? And boom, boom, boom. And just knowing that it is going to line up. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a day away or if it's 2 weeks or 6 months, it's going to line up and you're going to get the outcome you want. And that is powerful to me. Like, that gets me excited. That I'm just like, okay, what else can I manifest? Like, let's make this game happen. Like, it's so fun.
I know it is. It really is. It's a brilliant thing. Well, I'm going to have to scoot. My lower back is telling me to stop.
Yes. Well, she and I have been talking well over an hour before this. This is what we always do, but we love you all. And we're so happy that you're in this membership group with us. And we cannot wait to be live with you and just see you blossom and flourish and grow. And we truly love you all and so much.
Yep. And I will second that. Well said. Nothing more to add. And lots of love, everyone. And Kim and I will see you, as always, here when we do the next video.
Yay. Bye.